Beside me, HD, firstly a warm welcome, namaste to Nepal. Great to have you with me. What do you make of the 211s?
Yeah, Andrew, good afternoon, and it really is an absolute honour to be here. When you've spoken many times to me when we've done broadcasts around the world about the cricketing, the love of cricket here in Nepal, but you really have to see it to believe it. Two very strong sides. You've mentioned those four overseas players, but the Janakpur Bolts. You've got Mohammed Mohsin, who's from the United States, Ben Mike, who plays for Leicestershire in England, Harsh Thacker from Canada, and then Lahiru Malanta, also from the United States, born in Peshawar, I think it is. And for the Bharatnagar Kings, Nicholas Curtin from Canada, left-hander, very stylish player. From Oman, local man Sandeep Lamachani. We look forward to watching him bowl. Chris Soul from Scotland, rumoured to bowl it at over 140, can touch 150, so that'll be interesting to see. And then right at the top of the order, Martin Guptill from the Kings, who is a very powerful striker. There is no boundary in the world big enough to keep him quiet when on song.
Yeah, he's kind of one of the two real star attractions, isn't he? You think of Shikhar Dhawan headlining the national news last night, but also Martin Guptill, not long retired from international cricket, but still in absolutely immaculate form and shape. And also two really high-profile head coaches. Kevin O'Brien with his first ever head coach's gig in any franchise cricket. He is the head coach of the Bharatnagar Kings, captained by Sandeep Lamachani. And then somebody who's much loved here in Nepal, HD, that's Pabudi Dasanayake, the former national team head coach, took them to their first ever World Cup, the T20 World Cup back in 2014. Also had a second stint just after COVID too, and then went on to coach Canada. Was actually involved with Oman recently in the Cricket World Cup League 2 series. And this will come as no surprise to you in particular, HD. Look who's striding out to the middle to open the batting. The fans want to see what Martin Guptill can do.
38 years young. Martin Guptill, the New Zealander, has played in all the leagues around the world, the biggest of the biggest, the Indian Premier League obviously, and here he is in Nepal. A strike rate of 130, a best of 120 not out. That's in the domestic cricket over in New Zealand against Auckland. Let's hope that he finds some form for those thousands that have turned out to watch this opening game.
He'll open the batting alongside one of the hometown stars, Lokesh Bam. Century here against the Ireland Wolves for Nepal at this very ground. He's a really talented youngster, and he's somebody who I think many think here in Nepal should be in and around the international side. HD, you know my affiliation with Nepal. I have never seen excitement like this. Maybe just March 16th of last year when 35,000 were here to see Nepal beat the UAE in the most dramatic of circumstances. The build-up is over. The time is now, but not yet, HD. Not yet. We'll have to wait a moment longer.
Yeah, I must admit, I did touch on it earlier. You've spoken about Nepal glowingly over the years that I've worked with you, and I've always thought, oh, come on, turn it up. But it is real. It is very, very real. And the crowd, the atmosphere here has been immense. Second time lucky, here we go.
Kishore Mahano with the new ball in hand. Here we go. And a swing and a miss. Just talked about Lokesh Bam, HD. Many will be so pleased to see this young man back in Nepal. He's actually spent some time out of the country, like so many, with their connections, Nepalese connections that is, down in Australia. So he's been playing some great cricket down there. Many were worried they might have lost Kishore Mahano to the game here. He's back. And if he goes well in this MPL, I think we're going to see him back in and around the national side. Off the top edge, the first runs of the tournament are very nearly going to be a maximum. It'll be one bounce and four, not where he intended it, but we are up and underway with the first boundary. That is a super four, powered by Ncell 4G.
Not small boundaries here, all about 64 meters all the way around the ground, but it's the altitude that we're at, which means that the ball just flies forever. So a little bit surprising that just actually didn't go all the way. Just one bounce and then into the boundary fence.
away. No shortage of pace either. Talented Kishore Mahado. Thought he was impressive in that qualifier down in Zimbabwe last year. Just a warning for coming straight down the track. Done an amazing job at this ground, HD. I know it's your first sight of it, but this is the best it's ever looked. They've also done extensive renovations, extended those boundaries by about 4 to 5 metres, put the retaining fence back. But the charm of this ground, you spoke about the passion here, it is quite something. Side the off stump. One of the great things about competitions like this is the inaugural edition, but opportunities for hometown officials as well.
I hope they're not listening.
Got Durganatsu Betty there. He is standing and he's joined by his colleague at square leg. Representing the length and breadth of the country will be
The added advantage in these other tournaments where they can go to DRS. DRS is not available. These other tournaments where they can go to DRS. DRS is not available. So they're
into the leg side, just be a single despite the roars of the crowd. Our third umpire, BJ. We'll come on to strike now.
You're giving Martin Guptill the credit. I just think that those in attendance are just cheering every single run as if it's a massive event. I mean, if you just walk into this ground and you've never been here before, you would have thought that that previous delivery went out the ground. But it is Guptill. And there is a little bit of swing that he's got to contend with.
An anticlimactic ball from the crowd. End of the first. 6 for 0.
Himstar for a complete home. Siddhartha Rewards. Yes, my points are Siddhartha Bank. Samantha Sadaivari Line.
Bond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Big moment for cricket in Nepal.
Not only for the country and for Nepal, but the players themselves. You know, a lot of these players not globally recognized, but they will be once this tournament is complete. And so added incentive to produce the goods for your side. Who knows, you get snapped up to play in another league here, another league there, and you become a household name and your life changes forever.
One of the stars of the national side, Lalit Rajbanshi, will open the volley from the pavilion end of the ground. And immediately he strikes. It's the first wicket, and it goes to Lalit Rajbanshi, his trademark celebration. 2 fingers pointed to the sky, and she says, that's out.
In this day and age, no player likes to have a look first, but he might have been better served to just have a little look, because the surface is a little bit on the slowish side. It's dry, and it just holds ever so slightly. He's through the stroke. And Rajbanshi has the first one. So it is Bam, Rakesh Bam, who goes for 5. It's 6 for 1.
Well, that's the way to start your Nepal Premier League campaign if you're Lalit Rajbanshi. Get from his very first delivery, balled in it, and it's the first wicket of the tournament. It will bring the captain of Oman to the crease. Saqib Ilyas, a fine all-rounder. Many will think of his batting, particularly in the ODI format, but his bowling is something to watch here, HD. Liam Livingston-esque off spin and leg spin. He also does something really I've only ever seen Chris Gale do. That's not hit the ball like Chris Gale, HD. That's wear sunglasses when he's batting. It is bright, it is glary. He's a unique character, but he's very talented, Saqib Ilyas.
Sliding down the leg side. I saw Richie Richardson do it many, many years ago, but he went one better than everyone, is that he went in with sunglasses and a floppy hat. It's not a bad shout.
He also plays a unique shot, HD. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. He plays the wrong foot sweep shot. So he will put his right foot, his back foot, in front of his left foot, get out in front of it, and then kind of sweep it behind square. Very interesting approach and method. He'll get a quick single to get off the mark. Despite the direct hit, I think he's safely home.
Just going back to those sunglasses, I was standing out there earlier on before the players made their way onto the field, and there is quite a heavy glare out there with the game starting around midday. Safely home. So I can understand why Ilyas decides to wear those sunglasses. None for Guptill.
He's very active on social media as well, HD. Loves a poster too, does Saqib. Side edge saves Guptill. Now, one thing that cricket in Nepal is known for, not just its passion, HD, its quality of spin bowling, and particularly its left-arm spinners. I've described them as an army of left-arm spinners here in Nepal. And if you're the #1 left-arm spinner in the country, like Lalit Rajbanshi, you need to be very good. And he is excellent. He challenges the inside edge with a lack of spin. He's incredibly accurate. He's caused all sorts of problems in his first over, including the first wicket. The Kings, 7 for 1.
Tapaiku, Asli Energy, Red Bull, Asli Nerozo.
Is Dove really different from soap? Ordinary soap dries itself over time, but Dove is different. Get your radiance with Dove.
Banking sectoरमा पहिलो पटक सिद्धार्थ ब्याङ्कले ल्याएको छ सिद्धार्थ रिवार्ड्स यसमा पोइन्ट छ सिद्धार्थ ब्याङ्क सम्बन्ध सधैँभरिलाई.
Daniel Sa, who is captaining instead of Asif Sheikh. The biggest and best names in cricket in Nepal, all absolute regulars in the national team. They're the 8 skippers. This one's steered away behind point. It'll just be a single.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of the local players. I was fortunate enough to do some work at the Asian Games in Hangzhou a couple of years ago, where the captain of the Royals, Dipendra Singh Ari, managed to get a half century of just 9 deliveries when Nepal owned that world record of the most runs in a T20 international. I don't think it belongs to them anymore. It's a big call, but I think it might have disappeared a few weeks ago.
Well, HD, you know my badgery for cricket. You're always on the money. I'd let you know if not. Zimbabwe it was that broke it against Gambia. That was in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifier, sub-regional B. Gambia, ranked in the 90s in the world, taking on full member. They were hammered around the ground for 344 by Zimbabwe in that game, breaking the 314 that Mongolia posted. You're right about Depinder Singh Airi's record, though. It'll never be broken. It's impossible. It's 9 balls, 50 runs. And the hometown DJ just playing that victory song that is always sung after every single game that Nepal win. I think he maybe anticipated a fielding change. Hopefully he'll allow play to continue. One of the things, HD, I think that they've done so well here for this inaugural NPL, they've spread the teams right across the country. So this is a kind of derby of the two easternmost sides, if you will. Both Biratnagar and Janakpur right down on the border. And something that they've done in the build-up to this tournament, all of the teams have gone back to where they're from originally. So the Biratnagar Kings, for example, they've had a series of talent identification camps across Janakpur, across the Koshi province. The same for the Janakpur Bolts. And you can see all the way from east to west, out towards the far west, Sudar Pashim done a great job at identifying where the hotbeds of cricket are and then putting those teams in place. Just have a break in play here, HD. I'm not altogether too sure why, but it's a gorgeous country, isn't it? What are your first impressions of it?
Well, I was devastated that my flight was delayed out of Singapore, so I actually only landed here in Kathmandu in darkness. And I was really hoping to get a bird's eye view, but I'll have a look when I'm on the way out, but that isn't a long time. That is at the conclusion of this event. But so far, I mean, very welcoming. The people have been amazing.
They're the friendliest people you'll meet in your entire life. Their love for cricket as Ilyas slips, but it won't cost him a single. Well, it's unrivaled. Dominates the national agenda. Nothing unites this country like the 4th June. The men's and women's national teams, they've done better than they've ever done. You saw, I know your heritage, next South African player, you saw how close they pushed South Africa in that World Cup. They're not the finished article yet at the international level, but the potential very much there in a big way.
That's just what they've become renowned for, is they've caused upsets in virtually every sort of global competition that they've played in. I mean, I came across Nepal as a cricketing nation many years ago when I opened up a newspaper in South Africa, and Nepal had beaten the South African under-19 team in an under-19 World Cup. And since then, sort of had a look at results going forward. But they've produced some world-class players already.
The other thing they're known for, HD, is drama. Now, their national team is nicknamed the Cardiac Kids. The reason why the blood pressure monitors go through the roof when the national team is playing. Anything can happen. And certainly, think of the national team, you think of the drama that they bring. I think we're going to see the same in the NPL. I think it's going to be the exact same. And this man, I have been badgering you for years, haven't I, about how great Nepal is. I'm so glad you're here to experience it in person.
A few days ago, I would have said you're under pressure, but having spent a few hours here, you're not under any pressure anymore.
And for those who don't know HD, former test player for South Africa, former captain of Leicester County Cricket Club, broadcasts all around the world. We were also on call together, weren't we, for that under-19 World Cup when Nepal beat Afghanistan. You talk about drama. That was drama there. Dev Canal, oh, we went through the ringer that day, the roller coaster of emotions. Gupta will keep the strike. It's been a cautious start for him. 11 for 1.
Star for a complete home. तपाईँको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौं.
Lights for life on Super.